and it will work.
Ooh, it's gonna fall also maybe.
Yes, yes. So, are we audible to you all? हमारी आवाज आ रही है आप लोग के पास?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, let's check it up whether we are audible. आवाज नहीं जा रही है शायद हम
आ रही है सर, आवाज आ रही है आपकी.
You are audible, sir. Carry on.
वो एक ही कॉर्ड है सर, तो माइक के रूप में ये काम कर रहा है. Yes, yes. So we are audible. We wanted to hear any of you. Avinas has replied to us that we are audible. So basically, Vihan, please initiate on the European history. Tell me something about it.
Russian and Ukrainian.
Russian and Ukrainian history.
Mostly Russian.
Yes.
Okay. So how do we really start? Basically the origins of Russia, I think, would be a good place to start.
Yes.
Because if you know, Russia didn't really start in Russia. They started more towards more Eastern European countries like Belarus and Ukraine, And in Ukraine, the capital of Ukraine right now is Kiev. And the capital of Kiev and Rus at that time was, of course, Kiev. So yeah. And also throughout the years, the Ukrainian and Russian people, they have been basically the same people. They are basically the same people, But the problem is when the West tried to divide this people, as they tried to get Ukraine into NATO,
Welcome to San Andreas. I'm CJ from Grove Street. Landed the heinous, came back as a cold heat. And Los Santos neighbors get no sleep, beefing with anybody.
Well, Russia, didn't like it, so they decided with Crimea in 2014,
There
Hit the gym, lift the weights. It's
Background music.
nice and straight. You got stats, respect,
And then
weapons,
also,
skill, stamina.
I am not clearly audible. Background
Yes, yes, you
something
can
that
continue.
yeah. So and now they're invading in 2020. They're invading in 2022 now, So basically, I think now is the part we need to get into the map,
Okay, I'll just give you map.
Yeah, we need the map.
Will you drive?
Google Maps,
Google Maps. Okay.
Yeah.
We will use the Google Map. It's okay.
No, drawing will be included, but we don't need it now. We need the map first. Google Maps.
Yes, we will have it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So now just from Google Map, I guess,
Yes. So we are going to open Google Map for our help so that we can be guided.
Yeah.
So
There's
this
map.
is
Yep,
it.
there's map, Yeah.
So this is it.
Okay, so basically I need to search Ukraine first, Because
Yes.
that's where the conflict is going right now,
Yes.
Ooh. It's
Yeah, speed may be one issue,
Yeah.
but we will get it. And meanwhile, we do it.
yeah. Ukraine, enter.
Hmm.
But okay, there it is, Ukraine. Okay. Yeah, get on the, Yeah. You don't need the directions, So here is Ukraine, you know.
Better. I will just make it smaller so that people can. This is Ukraine.
Yeah. And you know, if you really just click on Ukraine, you click on that Ukraine title, you know, it shows you the borders, you know.
Yes.
You click on it. Oh,
It will take you to the city also.
yeah. I don't know why it's not. Is it lagging or something? Anyway, so you know where Ukraine really is, you know.
Yes.
So you know Ukraine. Okay, we don't really need to zoom into a random area, you know. Okay, this is good. This is good. You know? So basically, you know, this area right here is Ukraine, and also you have the biggest city is Kiev, which is the capital, and the second biggest city, Kharkiv, which is the second largest city. You know. And then you can see, you know, you can see that Russia is right next. There is this capital, Moscow, you know.
Yes.
And there are also some smaller neighbors like, you know, these Belarus, Hungary, Moldova, but you know Poland's kind of like a big one, you know. And Ukraine, you know, Ukraine and Russia are basically the same people, you know, as they were in the Soviet Union. But you know, as NATO, you know, decided to kind of break a peace treaty, like you know, after the Soviet Union collapsed, you know, they said that the Eastern Europe would just be a neutral zone. But the West were like, no, it should not be a neutral zone. It should just be part of us. So they decided, you know, have many countries, you know, many of Russia's allies back, you know.
Yes, we can name a few also. if
Yeah,
you
so
want.
like here's some ones, you know, Poland, Slovakia, and Czechia, which used to be Czechoslovakia until it collapsed. Obviously, all the nations, so independence. Now, so Romania, Bulgaria, we can count all of these countries as well because they were part of a communist union, you know. And there was also Hungary, you know, and obviously, you know, Poland was obviously. So the border, and they also had Eastern Germany, you know. So the
Yes.
so the Iron Curtain was somehow like this, you know, dividing the continent of Europe into two, you know.
Yes.
And you know, as the Soviet Union collapsed, you know, these were still the same people. Russia and Ukraine were still allies, you know. And the West were like, "Hey, so should we just, you know, expand more into the territories, you know, of the old communist Soviet Union that is no more, that collapsed, you know. And then next up on the line was Ukraine, the same people as Russia, you know. So this was going to be a little hard, but they're kind of convincing them, you know. They were convincing them. Russia at all did not like this. So simple method, invasion. So they invaded in 2014. Obviously, this area right here, this peninsula called Crimea, was taken and invaded by the Russians, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. And obviously they were separatists over, you know, Donbass, or basically Donetsk, which is this area, and Luhansk, which is this
Should I
area.
zoom it out a bit?
I mean, yeah,
You
to
can,
see
like,
where, you know, the cities are, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, it's really a hard one.
Just
Yep.
let us go a bit down. I'll do it for you.
Yes, as you can see, okay, so you can see it now. Here's Donetsk and here's Luhansk.
Yes.
And obviously, Ukraine, they have districts, you know, and this area right here was Donetsk. I mean, Luhansk, and this area is Donetsk, you know. And in a way, these two had some separatist movements. They did not want to be part of Ukraine. So, basically, this area over here
I will.
was basically, you know, in basically part of, you know, the separatist held areas, you know.
And then, you know.
Yeah, and
they-
also the Russians, they supported them.
Yes, yes. I just wanted that whether was there any intervention of Russia. So was it that Russia was supporting these two regions earlier also?
I mean, they really did just support it after the 2014 invasion, as the West tried to get it in, and also obviously Ukraine, they were not doing good in this war, and seeing that a lot of their areas is like Russian people, like all of this area basically is where Russian ethnic people live, all of this area,
Welcome. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, please.
I will also ask.
Yes,
and
yes.
then, basically, in 2022, they decided to very expected invasion. They've already, had their push from Belarus around Kiev, but they used to have a tiny part of the city, So it is a disimprovement. They also have this area, and they have all of this area. They're even invading from over here, taking
Okay.
our stuff,
Then-
and also, as they're doing it, Ukraine is actually holding them very good. Russia is struggling. They have 190,000 soldiers around this area, and even some help from Belarus, their ally. But Ukraine with 200,000, soldiers is able to, hold position for some time,
Okay, in 2014.
No, not 2014, 20,
Right now.
2020.
Yes, in ongoing war you are talking
Yeah.
about, and we need to bring the NATO also in this. What is the position of NATO?
Just I want
Yeah.
to ask you one thing.
Yeah.
Why Ukraine has become so weak so that Russia is invading?
Basically, the 1994 Budapest Treaty is the best way to explain. And
Okay.
and it's better because Budapest is the capital of Hungary. Right now, it's like 4:53
Yes.
p.m., 21 degrees.
So here was the treaty. What was the treaty?
The Budapest Treaty, right in the capital of Hungary, that Ukraine would destroy their nuclear weapons, and they got weaker by that, and a lot weaker because nuclear weapons they do so much of damage, Yeah, and as that was, basically that's how they got weaker, and obviously Russian influence is drastically losing, throughout the last few years, And it's almost like the West tried to make a war, but really it doesn't really happen. Obviously, the war is still going on.
So what is the
And,
role of
and
Poland?
this is Poland, they don't really, basically, okay, this is a good way to explain all the stuff the West, the NATO has done to help Ukraine, So obviously the Baltics, which are way over here, Lithuania, there's Latvia on top of it. You can't really see it, What I mean. Yeah, and obviously Poland is doing so much of help, Even the United Kingdom and France is doing help. The USA is also doing help. And most funnily, Germany gave 1,000 helmets to Ukraine, which is like completely useless in my opinion. 1,000 helmets, they can't really do much, Like I bet a Russian tank can easily destroy 1,000 helmets, And obviously, Ukraine, they haven't got enough help at all yet,
Vihan, there are our friends who are confused about the intention of Russia on attack of Ukraine. They wanted to know, most of our friends, what may be the inside motive or real reason why Ukraine has been attacked right now by Russia.
Basically, I feel like the West, I feel like they are one
Should
of the
we
more
go out of
one.
map for some time so that we can discuss with all? Then we can again bring it, and then I want other friends also to come into the discussion, and they can also join us through video or ask any question to us. So what may be the real reason why Russia has attacked the Ukraine right now?
Because the West, they try to divide the people, which Russia did not want. So they decided to invade, not really unite in peace. Because they're not on their side anymore. So They can't just unite in peace. They will have to fight in war, you know.
Yes. And
That's
then
right.
what are the roles of NATO here?
NATO, they're doing help, so much of help that it is useful, you know, it is useful. Ukraine, they are holding the Russians back for now. But I mean, it's not a long time until the Russians get a bigger wave just to, you know, destroy the Russians. I mean, destroy the Ukrainians, you know. And obviously, you know, the casualties there would be high, you know. The casualties would be high. Can I, you know, get back to
Yes,
the
yes, map, na?
map?
We can come to the map. And do you see any role of US or
NATO.
like
NATO is doing a big role, but it's still not enough in my opinion. And obviously, the casualty, how long would the war last, you know? So
Yes.
obviously, it's March right now, you know.
yes,
The war is still going on, you know,
yes,
for, you know, like a month now, you know. And the thing is, you know, Ukraine is getting better at holding it, you know. I mean, at least holding it right now. But
Yes.
the thing is, that would only mean the war would last longer and there would probably
Can
be
someone
more
speak
storms.
for us, Chetan? I wanted whether we can hear you out.
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Any of you can ask any question to us?
What will be the impact of this war to India?
I think we are not getting their sound. Maybe any of them may be asking to us. Then
I am saying, sir, what will be the
some
impact
question or
of this
put your
war?
point so that
Sir, I am asking.
certain that you are audible to us.
Hello, 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 hello.
Yes, yes, you are audible to us.
Yes,
So
sir. I am
yes.
asking, sir,
Hmm.
what will be the impact of this war on India, positive as well as negative?
Okay, so this is kind of a little important, you know, because I mean, obviously, India is a big nation, you know. It's going to overpass China in population like 2027, you know. So obviously, you know, India is this country over here, you know. It's a big one, you know, it's very highly dense, like very high densely populated, you know. It means it's very crowded, you know.
Yes,
Yeah, okay, right.
So-
Okay. Can I even
yes, we can do it like this.
you have to okay. So yeah. We need to get to over here, you know,
Yes,
which is basically the neutral zone in my opinion, you know.
yes. So there is one concern actually that whether India should keep neutral on this and what are the effects which can be there
Okay, so
on
I need
India.
to get to
Yes,
India
yes,
first, you know.
yes,
It's just
yes.
like I mean you can it's hard to drag, I guess.
Yes, yes, I am not
It's
able
a little
to
hard
drag it.
to drag. It's like impossible. You can click that title over there. It says India or just search it, you know.
Yes,
But click it, will that come? I don't think it's coming. So we're just gonna search it then, you know.
yes.
So it's
You can
almost
keep speaking.
impossible.
Yes,
It's almost impossible to do it, you know. India, right here, right here.
yes.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, you can just talk.
Okay.
He wanted to use it.
So basically, you know, India
Yes, we can.
is basically, you know, I feel like it's a neutral zone in my opinion. Because first of all, the West is one of their biggest allies, and Russia is their biggest ally. So what?
Historically tested ally, as we see,
Yeah,
long time tested ally,
Yeah.
especially on
Yeah.
defense and all.
yeah.
Yes,
Obviously, this would be very hard for, you know, India to pick a side. when they have an ally fighting another ally.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So
So obviously this would be a neutral zone in my opinion. So if they decided to go for a NATO side, this would really, change the long, the Russian, alliance, the Russian friendship, and this would really not be good, because Russia has like the best military when it comes to quantity, and the best land
And
power.
then
They can
can-
just roll through these countries.
Vihan, I was thinking, can we bring the role of China also in these issues? How China is reacting
Yeah.
and what we see the effect of.
Yeah, so basically, if India goes in for, in for NATO, China, if they intervene, it would be obviously one of the biggest problems for India, because the thing is, this area right here is already part of China, It's just that India still claims it and so it's like basically,
China also is like a neutral, doing neutral
Yeah,
state.
that's-
In
and
fact, it is
China also
supportive
claims-
of Russia only.
And also China also claims Arunachal Pradesh. I mean, it's definitely part of India. I mean, like it is administered by India, It's claimed by China. China claims it anyways,
And-
But really, it's just India, And also, China hasn't helped Russia. Because, I mean, it's far away. Even though Russian and Chinese alliance has got even stronger.
Vihan, I wanted to just talk about one another thing. So maybe Chetan might be interested because his exam is there in CGPSC. There is one thing. If we just had supported openly to the Russia, there could be a better relation with the NATO and the Western countries like USA.
So,
And,
okay, so I've talked my first part. So here's about my second theory. What if India helped their biggest ally, And obviously this would be more likely because, I mean, it's their biggest ally,
Yes.
And obviously, India would be, less, it won't be a Western ally anymore. It won't be really the Western country, it won't really, feel that modernization, because the West is modern, while the East is less modern,
Yes. And
Yeah.
then,
And obviously,
there was a issue, you must have heard about the Katsa. Have you heard about it?
Artsakh.
Katsa Act, under which we could face sanctions, and there was S-400 missile systems, which we bought recently. We are buying from the Russia, and the US is putting pressure on us. And then in US also there is discussions going on that if we supported Russia anyhow, then there may be imposition of Katsa sanctions on us also.
Yeah.
So this is one part.
Sanctions,
Yes.
And obviously, if they get sanctioned, obviously the Russian economy is basically sanction proof, But the Indian economy is not sanction proof,
Yes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
Obviously,
record also.
obviously, India would have a big, I feel it would have an economic decline, Right now it's over $3 trillion, and they're catching up on the United Kingdom,
Yes.
But if they decided to get a little more, Eastern, which they already are, this would really mean, that Asia would really be a continent which would fall to, the Russian and Chinese alliance, Because obviously Asia and obviously most of Africa and the Middle East is already, very Russian and Chinese,
Okay. And any other question, Chetan, you would like specifically to ask to us? Like we will respond to you. You must have heard about India's future and our Asia's future in the coming days.
Obviously, India if they decide to go neutral, would possibly be the best option, you know. I
Yes.
mean, because they won't get hurt by their ally. in
So
any way.
means government
And
is trying
also-
best.
And also, obviously, neutrality is good, you know, because obviously countries involved, their economy and population, you know, there will be tons of casualty. Many people will die, their economy will crash, you know. But if you're neutral, nothing like that will happen. A
So-
good example already is Switzerland.
Yeah.
Obviously, right there, you know. They're neutral, they're not part of, you know, they're not part of the, they're not part of
Either of.
EU, they're not part of EU, they're not part of NATO. They joined the UN, you know, they became an official country like 2000 and September 2002, you know. Obviously, they're insanely neutral, and this means they could develop faster, yeah. And obviously, Switzerland, you know, is like impossible to invade now, you know. And obviously, India, if they don't do this, they can get their expected prediction to become the next superpower, you know.
Okay.
And 2100, you know. Why? Because basically their economy is growing fast, you know. They're planning on many mega structures, you know. Remember many railways, you know, they're thinking of bigger more cities, you know. You know, they're getting way more, you know, western, you know, but still, you know, I mean richer, you know. And obviously they would become, you know, on 2050, they will have the second largest economy, you know.
Okay, and then what about the effect on India's economy? You know, there is one thing many people are criticizing, that India must have intervened to stop the war. Should India try to stop the war as early as possible? How should we intervene?
Obviously, India or basically any other country in the entire world should obviously stop the war quick, you know. They
So-
should stop it quick. It should be a ceasefire. Ukraine will be neutral, and obviously more of the Eastern European countries of NATO, you know, they will be less and less protected, you know, because of the ceasefire, you know. Let's get back to the old times, you know. And obviously, as that
Status
would
quo.
happen, you know, Europe would be once again divided, you know. Obviously, this one might be a longer division, you know. And obviously, this is, you know, doing hard. This is not only doing hard things for Europe. This is doing hard things for the entire world, you know.
Yes, and how do we see, like, do we see anything that Russia is trying this thing? Whether there are some economic angles, or the expansion and NATO's threat, and they were all strategically.
The war should end quick, you know. Obviously, this is, you know, doing bad things for the entire internet as well, you know.
Yes.
Obviously, if you don't know, actually, you know, like some simulators are basically, you know, kind of like games, you know. Obviously, one of my favorite ones is Worldbox, you know, it's nice, pixel arted, you know. But they are not getting an update. Like they were gonna get it in the middle of February, but now they cannot because of the Russia-Ukraine war. The creator is Russian, and Russian Worldbox community is like the biggest, you know. This is making problems, you know, and obviously this is making problems for the whole world, basically, you know.
Yes. So what here the issue of discussion is that any of us may propose that how should India act, and any other questions or thing you may ask to Vihan on international relations, definitely, and then we may move to other subjects also.
And obviously, I wanna get another good thing, you know. Obviously, Russia, this massive country with like over 140 million people, you know.
Just admit here.
Okay,
Yes. Yes.
okay,
Yes.
okay. So obviously, you know, Russia, after this, we possibly know what they're going after next. And it is this area.
Oh.
This
Belarus
area right
area.
here. Not the Belarus area, that's already a Russian area. The Polish-Lithuanian border,
Okay,
which is
okay.
when NATO gets to its narrowest, you know.
Okay.
And obviously, when NATO gets to its narrowest, you know, it splits a part of Russia. It splits the Russian city of Kaliningrad from the Russian ally of Belarus. So obviously, if this war ends quick, they're going for this. Not only this would mean that a Russian ally and Russia would be connected, this would also mean NATO would be split. So now the Baltics, they would be completely surrounded. And obviously Russia could, take them now. And obviously, they got this, they have the Baltics, they have already all the allies, I mean, basically, the only other region would be the Caucasus,
Yeah.
And if they get that,
So,
well, they basically formed the Soviet Union,
so my friends do not know much about the Caucasus country and then about Europe also. Can you tell
Basically-
them something about the history or something?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you about the Caucasus. This area right there, it's basically the Balkans of Asia, I can just drag. I cannot not drag.
Okay, we can make it small and then we can do it like this. Just this
Okay,
area.
so it's hard to see it, but you see this nation,
Yeah.
it's Azerbaijan, it's Muslim. You see this nation, that's Georgia. And you see this nation, this tiny one over here, shaped like a chicken leg, it's Armenia, Obviously, let's start with Azerbaijan, This is basic Caucasus, okay. Caucasus is basically, the Balkans of Asia, Okay, Azerbaijan, right there. Search. Okay, obviously, you zoom into this country right here, and it is called Azerbaijan. Obviously, it has a weird shape, but obviously, this area right here is very, conflictable, Why?
Okay.
Because Armenia, Christian nation. Now, obviously, this area is this like tiny part of area of Azerbaijan called Upper Karabakh, like this, It is totally surrounded by Azerbaijan. Now, it is part of Azerbaijan called Nagorno-Karabakh. But the thing is, 99% of the people living there, well, they're Armenians. And over here, it used to be, over this area, this big area, it used to be 94%, but obviously Azerbaijan had it at that time. They tried to move as many Azerbaijanis to that area to make it more equal and Azerbaijani territory. Obviously, Armenia could just watch and see this happen. They declared war, they just smashed it. And obviously, this area became from 94 to 77% Armenian. And obviously, after Azerbaijan and Armenia, we come to this nation called Georgia. Let me just search Georgia.
Yeah, I think these maps may be useful for UPSC also. All those who may be preparing for UPSC may just note these all
Obviously,
critical areas.
Obviously, when you say the word Georgia, you should not get confused with Georgia, the state in the USA.
Yeah.
Don't get confused. Don't get confused. Yeah. Okay. We have to, okay. Now getting in. Georgia is just
Yes.
north of them. You can kind of see the state. Capital Tbilisi. Obviously, this is the area which got wrecked by Russia, in 2008. Obviously, 2008, Russia invaded the regions, I can't quite, it's like Abkhaz, something over here, and South Ossetia.
What was the year when Russia invaded it?
2008. Obviously, this area and this area, it is part of Georgia, but it is controlled by Russia,
Okay.
Obviously, they also claim to be their own country. So yeah, there's that, like puppets, puppet states, And obviously, Georgia is kind of like the neutral one. Obviously, Azerbaijan likes Turkey, and and Armenia likes Russia. And these four get on to conflict, And Georgia is like the one which does nothing, Georgia, it's just doing nothing, and it's just neutral. And they think they'll get good of it, but they get the worst of it as Russia invades. They're basically not really doing anything.
Okay,
And
this is
smash
a new
the
thing for me. It is a new information. I did not pay attention to this part, and I wanted to know the role and the effect of the war and this situation on obviously Germany and the countries like France also. What are their stances? Do we see something there, in Europe, EU, European Union? Do we see any effect of these all things?
Obviously, one thing which happened in like late 2021 was the rise of Western socialism, or basically not really socialism, rise of the left in European Union, Obviously, the European Union was mostly right, until the left, which has been like, the Social Democratic Party from Germany.
Yeah,
They
after
won the
Angela Merkel.
election. They won the election against, which made all Scholz the new chancellor of Germany. And
Definitely.
before that, it was
Angela Merkel had
Angela
been
Merkel,
three terms she was there, and it is a big change we
it's a
see
big achievement
yes,
for
after
the
this
left,
15 years about.
And
Yes.
obviously, in Portugal, the Socialist Party, the Socialist Party, they basically won the election, and so they had some problems, So the left is getting hand, and not only that, they're also getting hand in the United Kingdom. Obviously, I don't quite have it. I don't quite really know about it.
Many of our friends, they are questioning the role of UNSC, United Nations Security Council. Do you know something about, like, they do not know much?
Obviously, the United Nations is acting less and less like united. Obviously, United Nations getting so much of trouble, basically, it's getting trouble,
So how should they act? Do you see that UNSC or United Nations General Assembly should have act in another way also to like stop the war, or they can do something in the next 1 week or 1 month kind of things? Do we need
obviously
any?
it will be hard for them,
Yes, because China is also there and Russia itself a part of UNSC.
The world
they can
is
veto.
the world is more divided than ever,
Yes.
And obviously, I think we should end it right here because it's 8:54 right now. It's almost been like
Yes.
9 p.m.
Yes,
So
yes. Today
bye.
it will be our first part, and we may invite the questions from other persons if they want to ask or share something. They may ask us. Aditi, Nishtha, and whatever our friends, we are many people here. And today we wish to end this first part of our video. Obviously, we will have different parts. We can discuss upon the European history sometimes.
Yeah,
And,
from the 1900s and mostly the main events. And
Yes.
obviously some other minor ones that I know,
Yes, we will do it in the parts in the coming days. As more and more friends of ours are joining, we can invite some of them here also. Like
Yeah.
those who live in Raipur, we can
Yeah.
invite them into the table also.
Yeah.
And definitely we will also be talking about some other subjects like what are your favorite subjects. I think you must introduce yourself about regarding your area of interest.
My area of interest is obviously in geography and history, but I still have interest in dinosaurs, which has been like this from like early 2021. So it's been like a year of interest,
Okay. And then on history, which part?
Yeah, obviously, when I started, it started with me, I was like, I think I should learn the names of 5 dinosaurs. And I did it. I realized it's kind of not very hard to read. It's not very hard to understand and remember them. So I did it up to 10, then up to 20. And at the max time was over 40,
Okay.
And obviously, it's almost impossible to know about all this. But at least, but I also knew details, the special abilities,
Yes.
their
And
field, and obviously, there's like 900 of them. You can't really remember everyone, other than if you really have a
yes, and then we will discuss on the geography also on planets and something later on. You
Yeah.
can just give a brief point, 1-2 minutes for the later dates. They will also read something or watch something, and then we will be ready for those
Yeah.
sessions in the coming weeks.
And also, as this, is just, getting ended, I also want most of you people, to check out a channel called Geohistory, They do awesome summaries on the map. They've done origins of Russia,
Okay.
until the
Yes.
Russian Empire. Then they also done the Russian Empire video. You can watch that one as well. So like you're up to the Soviet Union now. And you can watch from the Soviet Union, all to their collapse, and you can even watch more. But I think there was one more after that as well,
Yes.
and obviously geohistory. And if anyone is actually liking military stuff and military comparisons, then you can check out a different channel called Pinko's Battlegrounds. They have 600,000 subscribers. They make military comparisons. News about military. Lots of stuff about military related. So from there, I think
Yes.
right now we're gonna end this. So
Yes. Yes.
yeah. So,
So
bye.
we will just
Thank you, Ian.
you all, and
Thank
just
you,
keep
Ian.
your questions ready. If you have, then you can ask us again.
Yeah.
Okay.
In like the next time we do this,
Yes.
So bye everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.